Hello everyone, it's Shel from Paper Rock TO Studio. Today I'm sharing with you days 25, 26, and 27 of the Drawing Daily Inktober challenge where I'm using the prompts from 31 Witches 2. This is October 2017 in case you're watching this sometime in the future because videos never go away unless I delete them. So for day 25, the prompt was Rockabilly Witch. And yeah, I didn't really know what that was. So I had to Google it. And I Googled up some images. And from what I can tell, it's very similar to American traditional tattooing style of doing pinups. Thick lines, thick black intense lines, limited color palette, and exaggerated female parts. There also could be, of course, motorcycles and hot rods and things like that. It seemed to be just, to me, not an expert, but it seemed to me to be similar to American traditional style tattooing, just a different name for it. So also I noticed a lot of in the pinups often have the type of hair that it would require you to go to a salon and have it put in rollers and then, comb down and back to comb. I've got the exaggerated curls. Sometimes the curls are rolled up on the sides. Not sure, I can't tell accurately what era that's from. I would say 50s maybe, but anyway, the hair seems to be like that. And then clothes are tight, either like tight pants or bustiers, things that would accentuate the female form. And these girls are well endowed and have very teeny tiny waists, pinched waists, and then big tatas. So that was what I got out of my brief research into what this would be. So that's the sort of style I'm going for. I didn't do that great, but I did my best. Still working on body poses, and there's a lot of sauce to this pose. She's got her hand up in her hair, like she's puffing up her hair, like, oh, look at me. She's got her hand on her hip, shoulder forward. Sass, lots of sass. And I'm not sure that it came across that well. I don't know that I got all the forms correct, but the other thing that I noticed is pretty much in the rockabilly anyway, not necessarily the American traditional tattooing, that the people all seem to have tattoos. So I made sure that she had a couple tattoos on her arms that would be witch-like, like a spider web and a skull, that type of stuff. I hope I got it right. I don't really know exactly what the prompt was, but anyway, she's cute, she's sassy. I don't know. Then in American traditional tattooing, I like tattooing, and I watch tattoo shows, and I research tattooing. I think it would be fun to be a tattoo artist, except for the whole making pain on people thing, which I'm not sure I'm too cool with that. So that's how come I'm not a tattoo artist. But I like the different styles. I think it's interesting. So in American traditional tattooing, lines are very heavy. They're thick. There's like pepper shading and stuff too, but palette, as far as the colors, only bright colors. There's not a lot of gray shading and stuff like that. That's how you get shading in a tattoo, is to put in gray, and that doesn't belong in this style of tattooing, the original type of tattooing. So making sure that I'm not doing a whole lot of shading. I did some shading with just the colors themselves, but not any extra fancy stuff. I decided a different colorizing product that I haven't used yet in these drawings so far is oil pastels. I hardly ever use them, that's why. And I'm like looking through drawers and I saw these oil pastels that were given to me and I thought, oh, I can do that. I can color with that and play around with it. So I did. These are nice oil pastels and I used blending stumps to blend them to make sure that the pastel gets down into the tooth of the paper. This is mixed media paper, so it does have quite a bit of pits and valleys in it. Not as much as a watercolor paper, but it's an absorbent, rough paper. Not really sure why they think it's so great for mixed media because I think it's too light. The poundage is too light on it. I prefer a heavier paper for mixed media because, I mean, you're putting so much stuff on it. Layers and layers of wet media, dry media, crazy collaging stuff. So I'm not sure why they call it that, but anyway, that's what it is. And so the blending stump helps to push the pigment down into the paper and make it more smooth. And then I even used the white pastel as an extra layer to kind of help blend it in some cases, especially on the skin. And the pinups seem to have a lot of makeup, big, cat eye eyeliner and stuff like that. So I gave her blue eyeshadow because I remember back in the day my mom used to wear blue eyeshadow and she went every week to get her hair done and she had like big hair, big hairsprayed rollered hair. So that's kind of what I was thinking of. So I gave her blue eyeshadow. It was a thing. I remember it was a thing. I never wore it, but I remember it was a thing. So then not doing too intensive a background, just some blue around the edges and blending it with a dry baby wipe and then going back in and adding a little bit more right around the drawing and blending that with the stump. And that was about all I did. I did go back in and intensify a few of the lines, I think. Yeah, I did with the black Posca pen, the eyeliner and eyebrows and things like that. The pastel covered it up a little bit. So, and of course I used my white to just add a few highlights here and there like you would on a tattoo at the end. I'm not sure that would be something that would be so cool in American traditional though. I don't know if they do white highlights or not. That might be a more modern thing. Not sure how long white tattoo ink's been around. But anyway, that's my Rockabilly, which I sprayed it with Spectrafix and dried it, and then even just to make sure that it didn't rub onto the next page later, I put on a coat of clear gesso over it just to make sure that the pastel, because oil pastel it rubs off, it gets on stuff, so I didn't want that. The next prompt was banshee, and banshees are an Irish what do you want to call it, myth or belief. Banshees come when someone's about to die in your family and they cry, they wail. They're fairies from the land of fairy, and sometimes they're portrayed as an old woman or a hag. Sometimes they might be revealed to be the Morrigan, who is the death fairy, chaos and death fairy. But I wanted my fairy appeared to be wailing. First time I've ever drawn a wailing open mouth, so it took me some time to figure it out. A lot of erasing. How do you distort the face so that the chin is drawn down as if the mouth is open? Had to practice, had to adjust, wiggle, adjust, wiggle. I think this is the one where my favorite little mono zero pen eraser ran out of eraser. I love that thing because you can get into the small little cracks. These are small drawings on small pages. So, yeah, I have to order some more. In fact, I've already done it. Ordered some more eraser thingies to go to refill that mono zero eraser pen. So in Irish folklore, that's what the word I was looking for, folklore. God, I couldn't think of it. Um, Banshees generally are wearing either a green or red robe or cloak or something like that, and they have crazy red hair, like, you know, out of control red hair. That's the description. I didn't want to draw hag. That just seemed too complicated. So I decided to just go ahead and draw a young banshee. Maybe she's a teenager or something. She's not got the age on. And then I wanted her to appear to be out in the woods, so I did draw a tree into the background. It's supposed to be a little bit scary. You know, forebringer of death. You don't want to hear a banshee wailing. You don't want to see one because that means somebody's going to die. So a little bit scary, but not too scary. Not really scary. She's not that scary, but um, yeah, drawing a very specific crazy hair. It's falling in her face. It's blowing around. It's probably being blown back by the whale because whale is powerful magic. So I did use different pen nibs to make the drawing dynamic, but I didn't do any real heavy lines, and mostly just used probably a medium, small, and an extra small. If I even used the extra small, I might not have. But for colorization, I'm going to use my Neo Color 2 water-soluble crayons. These are probably my favorite thing in the world. I've been doing a lot of variety, a lot of different things for coloring. I've been doing the drawings in the inking in very similar styles, but I mean the drawings are different styles, but I've been doing the same thing. You know, you see the pencil, you see the mechanic pencil, you see the illustration pens. We talk about line weight and things like that, and then I've been using different products to color in order to make it more interesting for me and for the viewer as well. So this time got out the Neocolors and my water barrel brush, which has water in the inside of it so that I don't have to keep dipping. I used a indigo color for the background. I tried to make it nighttime kind of, or you know, it's dark. Maybe it's dark under the trees. And then I left the tree branches a light color and just use a little bit of a couple different grays, a light gray and a medium gray to kind of shade those a little bit. I started out with a chartreuse green, yellowy, very yellowy green for the hood, and then went back in with an olive color to create what I think would be a naturally dyed fabric. You know, if it was naturally dyed green with plants and things, like you would if you were a fairy, I don't think that it would be a true bright Kelly green. I think it would be more of a natural color, which to me says olive, you know, those type of colors. Then I started out with the lightest of the crayons that I have that are skin tone, and I didn't hit it everywhere. I just hit it a little bit to create a bit of warmth in the skin, but then I brought in a taupe and did all the shading with that, and then also a gray, a darker gray. She's not human, so human-ish, but not 100% human. So that's why I did that. Then I made her eyes a very vibrant purple because I thought that looked cool. And of course, you got to do the tongue and the teeth. And then I started with kind of a medium red and did just the roots of the hair and kind of halfway down the strands. And then I did an even darker red and added that right to the base of the things, of the strands of hair. And then after that, I came in with orange and did the tips with orange. So it's, looks like reddish hair. Probably not supernatural. Well, yes, supernatural. Supernatural. Yeah. I'm amusing myself today, obviously. Uh, it's not normally that color. We'll say it that way. Posca pin for a few highlights, and I think I'm about done with this one. I think I portrayed what it was supposed to be. I'm pretty happy with it. It's not the most beautiful drawing in the universe, but it's pretty cool, and I think it definitely looks like what I think a banshee looks like. So, first time drawing an open mouth ever in my entire life. Because why would you draw that? Why would anyone draw that? The next day was fertility, and I decided to go with the very classic image of a fertility goddess. I love this type of an image. It warms my heart. I really like it. So, pregnant lady. She's got a big tummy. She's got her hands on her tummy. I mean, for those of you who've ever been pregnant, how many times did you put your hands on your tummy when you were pregnant? It's such a common thing to do. So, she's sitting in a crisscross applesauce pose, very calm and kind of meditating type of a look. She's got long, flowing locks. She's wearing a headband with a traditional witchy symbol so that you can tell it's a witch because it's supposed to be witches, but really it's a fertility goddess. Also, lots of spirals. Spirals are very common in fertility type of art and runes and things like that. It's spirals. Spirals are, and I love spirals. I'm actually a little bit obsessed with them. So, yeah. For the inking, all I did on this one was use a single nib. I think I might have used the extra small on the face, but I think all I did was use like a medium or small nib through the whole thing, just drawing over the lines. This was a quickie. I needed to get this done and, not mess around because I was behind schedule. So I didn't do anything super elaborate. It's a basic drawing and basic coloring. Yeah, it looks like I did bring in the extra small maybe for the face. I love this one. I love this image. I think it really it speaks to me. I like it. So then for coloring, I wanted to hurry. So I got out these SAI Akashi Sai Japanese brush markers that I have, which got them from Amazon. Imagine that. And there's ones that are American now called Zig True Color brush markers, and I think there's some other brands too, but these are the first ones I ever saw. I saw someone else using them and I thought, I want that. It's like an aqua brush or a water barrel brush like you see me use all the time. It has that type of a synthetic brush tip, but then it's just got ink inside of it. So I saw people making their own, like Jane Davenport had made her own at some point by putting watercolor ink inside one of those regular water barrel brushes, and I saw these and I wanted them, so I bought them. They're fun to use. That's a water soluble ink, so it's kind of like a watercolor, but you just brush it on, and then I'm using my water barrel brush to blend a little bit. And I used these are traditional Japanese colors. I used the peachy color for skin, then I used the pink to do some shading, and then I used the yellow oxide or yellow ochre color to do some more shading on the skin. Then for her little shift, I didn't make her naked. A lot of times this type of an image would just be naked, but I knew I was making it for YouTube, so I put her in some clothing, just a shift. And that's where I put the spirals on, is on the little shift slip type dress that you might wear if you were sleeping or something like that. And then I did two-tone hair, real simple and quick. If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment so I know that you're here. Subscribe, turn on your notifications. All those things are very helpful to me. And that's it for me. Thanks. Bye-bye.